Week 4 in the NVL yields us to Kennedy Gymnasium in Waterbury, where tonight a classic battle of two inner-city teams face off, the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. Hi, everybody. My name is Christopher Saunders. This is a DET Sports Media production. You can catch us on Channel 16 as well on YouTube. They are uploaded a couple days right after the games are done, so you can catch any local teams you want. Career, Kennedy, Wilby, Crosby, it doesn't matter. All the inner city teams, the local teams in Waterbury, we cover them. But tonight we're covering two of them, the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. Both these teams come in tonight at 1-5. Kennedy 1-5. Crosby actually is 3-3, looking to turn their seasons around with 1/5 of the season already been decided. Now, if you look at this point last year, January 12th of 2017, Kennedy was already 6-1, but they were led by a supreme class of seniors: Ty Sands, Tyvon Stenson, Chamari Joseph, and Alex Bruno, as well as the 6'11" junior LaShawn Smith, who is an enforcer, being a center for this team, a special team that made it all the way until the semifinals, but lost their season to the eventual state champions of that class, Class LL. Same can be said for Crosby, who came in at 7-1, led by Jeremiah Kendall and Miguel Rivera. But now let's fast forward now to 2012 of 2018. Kennedy is without Sands, Stenson, Joseph, and Bruno, all of whom have graduated. And their big man, LaShawn Smith, is now back for his first game of the year, coming back from an arm injury. But here's the biggest thing. Kennedy is 1-5, coached by Ryan Sullivan, after losing to St. Paul 81-60. This team is flustered. They're looking for answers. LaShawn Smith being back can help, but he can't do it alone. He needs to have other players with him to be able to contribute. Who will step up for the departed seniors from last year? And with LaShawn Smith coming back, who is going to join him? Because, like I said, he can't do it alone. And the transfer that Kennedy has from Career Academy, Jay Turner, number 24, he's a junior. He transferred from Waterbury Career Academy. He has to sit out the first 10 games of the season. And they've already played. This will be the 7th game. So he's going to have to sit out another 3 before he can play. So Kennedy's going to have to try to survive at least a couple more games without him, but it would be nice to see if maybe they can win tonight and get off on the right foot and maybe turn the season around a little bit. Now switching over to Crosby. Crosby, as I stated before, is without Rivera and Jeremiah Kendall. They combined total, and I'm not talking about just one, both of them combined, 40 points per game, 10 assists per game, as well as 9 blocks. They have all graduated. The positive, Crosby is dead even at a 3-3 record after defeating Naugatuck 82-63. The negative, though, Kennedy has owned this rivalry dating back to 1910. Can Crosby pull off a victory against this rebuilding Kennedy squad and be able to turn their season around? As I stated before, Kennedy owns this rivalry 71-47. Crosby, switch it around, 47-71. 47 wins to 71 losses. Kennedy has 71 wins to 47 losses. So something's got to give. Only one team can come out of this. There isn't any sort of ties or in terms of, looking at the NFL where you can just tie and go into the next game. No, one team's going to win and one team's going to lose. So let's see what's going to happen tonight here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Hello again, my name is Christopher Saunders. If you're just tuning in, this is a DET Sports Media production. There's about 8 seconds left of the warm-ups as we're about to begin the announcements of both squads. First, the Crosby Bulldogs being the away team. And as you can hear, the buzzer is off. Crosby on the blue, or are wearing blue. They are on the right side. Kennedy is on the left. They are the home team. As you can hear the announcements from the PA, who's in the center of the court. See where the Eagle is at the center of the gymnasium. The announcer is all the way going up. He's the one making the announcements as he's announcing the players. First, Justin Davis, then Kerwin Prince, Marquise Days, the junior, as well as Tyler Spears, the junior as well, and then Yvonne Craig, the senior. Crosby is coached by Nick Algelli, the astute coach, looking for his 700th win. And a quote from the Republican American, when he got his 600th win, he said, "Now it's time for 700." Number 34, the center, Marquise Blackman, Jr. Number 5, guard, Adrian Williams, Sr. Number 21, forward, senior, Josiah Perella. Number 23, center forward, Jeremy Acosta, senior. And last but not least, the player we talked about earlier in the pregame, number 10, LaShawn Smith, senior, center, who's coming in his first game tonight, coming back from an arm injury, so we'll see how much rust he has earlier in this ball game. That'll be something to watch. Now let's pause as we stand for our national anthem here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Beautiful rendition of our national anthem here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Next up, tip-off between the 3-3 Crosby and 1-5 Kennedy Eagles. Again, the starting lineups for both teams, if you're just tuning in again: Adrian Williams, LaShawn Smith, Josiah Perella, Jeremy Acosta, and Marquise Blackman for Kennedy. And for Crosby, it's going to be Justin Davis, Kerwin Prince, Marquise Days, Yvonne Craig, and Tyler Spears. Now, one thing in particular about this squad is that there's a lot of seniors for this Kennedy team. When you look at it, 7 seniors, 5 sophomores, 2 juniors. But with the losses of Stenson, Chamari, Joseph, Spears, and Sands, who's going to step up? The only returning player from the starting 5 last year, if you look at the roster and look who was able to get a lot of the points, it was LaShawn Smith. So who's going to step up for this Kennedy team coming in at 1-5? LaShawn Smith's first game back. Under center, Marquise Days on the right, LaShawn Smith on the left. Crosby in the blue with white and red stripes. And let tip-off begin at 7:20. Spears has it, gives over to Kerwin Prince. Kennedy with the white jerseys with Eagles on the right side of the pants. That's going to be Marquise Days going to drive and then blocked by LaShawn Smith, and he's making his presence known array that he's back in this game, coming back from an arm injury. Gives it over Adrian Williams. Back up to Perella, who puts up a 3, and Kennedy strikes first. 3-0 with 7:35 in the first. Davis has for Crosby, screaming at number 1. That's the call from Davis, the point guard. Back over to Spears. He's going to answer back with a 3. Hits the outside part of the rim, though. Rebounded by Perella. Gives it back over to Acosta. Acosta's going to drive in with the right. Ball was slapped a tad. Rebounded, though, by Spears for Crosby. This game starting off quickly on a fast foot for both squads, Crosby and Kennedy. Kerwin Prince has it. 5-footer, complete air ball, rebounded though by Days. It keeps it alive, then throws it in quickly to Kerwin Prince underneath the basket, and he tips it right in for the first 2 points of the game for Crosby. 6:55 left in the first. LaShawn Smith has it at the top. Gives it back over to Blackman underneath, guarded by Days. Then LaShawn Smith has it again. He's going to drive in easily. 5-2 now. Kennedy leads over Crosby. And LaShawn Smith definitely has a mismatch, the tallest player on both squads tonight. Davis gives it over to Spears. Back over to Craig on the right. He shoots the three. Off the mark, rebounded though by Acosta. And Crosby trying to get back on defense. Acosta's just dribbling in left and right. Misses the layup. Rebounded though by Days. Days trying to find something, and ball slapped out. Acosta doesn't like the call. And it looks like Acosta just got a double technical on that. And Ryan Sullivan, the head coach for Kennedy, is wondering why. Wonder if Acosta said the magic words. That's going to be a costly technical for Kennedy. They're going to say that's a personal foul and then the technical foul. That's a costly play by the senior. They're going to say the foul is on Josiah Perella, and then Jeremy Acosta was the technical. Crosby back, inbound on the ball, gives it over to Davis. Guarded by Acosta. Davis puts up the three, and it's nothing but net. We're all knotted up at 5 with 6:08 left here in the first. Williams dribbling up quickly. Guarded by Davis, then Spears. Acosta all by himself, trying to drive in again. Right hand hits the back part of the rim and goes all the way into the basket. Now 7-5. Davis didn't like what he saw, kind of waved back a little bit, trying to find somebody open. Davis over to Yvonne Craig, guarded by Blackman. Then Prince is going to drive into the basket hard, and you could tell Smith after that was saying something to a couple of his players, both Acosta and Williams, playing a little bit harder defensively. 5:32 left here in the first, and LaShawn Smith has 5 points in this game. 10-7, Kennedy leads. And you can hear Ryan Sullivan screaming quickly, getting back on defense, telling his players not to showboat. Yvonne Craig shot the three, hit the back part of the rim, and then went out of bounds. It's going to be Kennedy's ball as it was hit off the, looked like it was the knee of Davis. Williams gives it over back to Acosta. Now to Smith again. He's going to shoot another three from the same spot. And it's nothing but net again. 2 for 2 from the three for LaShawn Smith. 13-7 with 5:04 left here in the first. Kennedy playing press. And Smith is able to steal it right back away from Marquise Days for Crosby. Crosby doesn't have an answer to the Kennedy press. Three is missed. Rebounded by Blackman. Second chance is missed again, though. Williams tried to keep it alive for Kennedy. Wasn't able to. Yvonne Craig with the rebound. Gives it over to Days. And they're going to say Kerwin Prince carried the ball. That's going to be another turnover for Crosby. 4:41 left here in the first. 13-7. Kennedy leads over Crosby. This is a DET Sports Media production. My name is Christopher Saunders, bringing you this game tonight, this rivalry matchup between Kennedy and Crosby. Ball was stolen for a second, and Davis tried to keep it alive for Crosby. It's going to be out of bounds. Still going to be Kennedy ball. But you can see the IQ of Davis being able to find where that ball is. Takes a lot of baseball awareness or basketball awareness to be able to know where the ball is when it can be passed. Into the game for Kennedy is going to be Jaquan Jones. He's a senior as well for Kennedy. Smith gives over to Acosta on the right. Hits the outside part of the rim. Rebounded, though, by Yvonne Craig, and that's going to force Kennedy to get back on the defensive side. 2 team fouls for Kennedy, 1 for Crosby. Davis kicks it over to Spears on the left. Kind of brushes off Williams a little bit with the left shoulder. Tries to go in hard. And it's going to be off the hands of Spears. It's going to be Kennedy's ball. On the floor for Kennedy, Acosta, Williams, Jones, Blackman, and Smith. And on the floor for Crosby, Spears, Davis, Yvonne Craig, Days, and Prince. Acosta faked it over for a second to Blackman. Gives it back over to Jones, who's newly into the game for Kennedy. Back over to Williams again. Then Smith underneath to the left. He's going to drive in. Ball goes in the basket, but they're going to say that Smith traveled. That's going to be the second turnover of the game for Kennedy. Marquise Days inbounding the ball. Now coming into this game, you look at Josiah Perella, ranked 31 in scoring for Kennedy, averaging 14.2 points a game. And then Crosby has 35 and 36th ranked. Kerwin Prince, Marquise Days with both 13.8 points respectively. So you look at this Crosby team, they can score it. But the problem is the turnovers. They got to be able to limit those if they want to be able to try to win this game. But there you go right there, trying to get another steal with sprints. He's going to be fouled, and he's going to get the possible and one play. Head coach Ryan Sullivan is putting his hands up like, why are you fouling in that? Just let him score. It's an easy layup. Into the game for Crosby is number 13, Tyreek Foggy. Coming in for Yvonne Craig, number 35. And at the free throw line is Tyler Spears for the possible three-point play. Three-point play is, or third shot is missed. Rebounded by LaShawn Smith. Gives it over to Williams on the right. Back over to Jones. Try to kick it over to Acosta, but then ball was stolen by Spears. Foggy tries to pass over to Davis. Davis to Kerwin Prince. And then looked like the ball was slapped out of the hands of Kerwin Prince. And then LaShawn Smith's going to go up to the right-hand glass. 15-9. Kennedy leads over Crosby. Kerwin Prince inbounding, gives it over to Davis. Kennedy moving quickly. And Crosby doesn't have an answer for LaShawn Smith. His first game back from an arm injury. Then Blackman steals it away. Looked like the ball was slapped again away from Crosby. Nice move, though, by Jones. A little spin around with the ball. Floats it in with the left. 17-9. Kennedy leads over Crosby with 2:40 left here in the first. Marquise Days, one bounce pass to Kerwin Prince. Gave a little bit of a kiss after that. Backboard helped a tad bit. 17-11 with 2:28 left here in the first. 3 team fouls for Kennedy, 1 for Crosby. LaShawn Smith back over to Williams. He's going to put up a three. Completely misses the basket, hit the outside part of the rim. And Spears is trying to do a move on Williams. He gets past him, kicks it over to Prince underneath. Not able to get a second chance opportunity, missed again. Days puts it up for the third and final time, and he gets it. And that's something I've liked about Days, and I've noticed the progressions that he's made underneath the basket. He's really being able to get those second and third chance opportunities for Crosby. And then Jones passes over to LaShawn Smith underneath the basket. Someone, either Crosby's got to put Yvonne Craig or possibly Days when he's on the floor on Smith. Otherwise, LaShawn Smith's going to be able to get it all day. There's going to be a jump ball, and they're going to say it's going to be Kennedy's ball, as there was a fight between Foggy and Blackman. Coming out of the game for Kennedy is Williams. Coming into the game is Harold Garcia, a sophomore. Sean Smith inbounding the ball, gives it over back to Acosta, who's going to take his time dribbling up to the court. Crosby playing more of a zone-type defense, leaving Jones wide open on the right. Acosta has it. He sees an opening. He's going to go in. Unable to get it. Rebounded by Acosta again for the second time, but he's going to be fouled. Let's see who the foul is going to be on. They're going to say it's on 35, Yvonne Craig. Crosby's second with 1:20 left. Kennedy's up 19-13 over Crosby. Acosta at the free throw line, shooting 2 shots. As you can hear the cheerleaders cheering on Acosta. First free throw is missed. LaShawn Smith's coming out of the game. Coming in for Kennedy, number 20, Kyle Brown. He's also a sophomore. So you have 2 sophomores in the game for Kennedy, Kyle Brown and Harold Garcia. Second free throw was made up for Acosta. Now 20-13, 1:20 left here in the first quarter. Davis calling the play number 1. He's called that play numerous times. Also into the game for Crosby is going to be number 20, Jordan Cody. Back over to Davis. Davis trying to find something. Acosta swipe, but he's going to commit the foul, his second. One thing about this Kennedy squad tonight is you're seeing a lot of slap balls being out of the hand of Crosby. Kennedy really trying to strip the ball out, especially when they're driving into the basket. Maybe not for Crosby to be able to have that awareness, maybe try to go up with the ball with their other hand, knowing that Kennedy's going to try to swipe it out. Spears putting the moves on Jones, kicks it over to number 20 for Crosby. He's going to drive in with the left hand off the glass. Unable to get it, though. Rebounded by number 20 again. Let's see what the call is. They're going to say it's a foul on number 25, Harold Garcia, his first. Ryan Sullivan doesn't like the call, but nonetheless, the Zebras have the final say. Now 51.1 seconds. Yvonne Craig for the three. Complete air ball, though, rebounded. And they're going to say that number 20 was fouled again. Second time he's been fouled in less than 10 seconds. Actually, pardon me, less than 3 seconds. And he's going to be at the free throw line shooting 2. Kennedy with 6 team fouls, one more, and that's going to put Crosby in the 1-1. First free throw was made. On the floor for Kennedy, Garcia, Williams. Second free throw is good. Brown, Garcia, Blackman, and Jones. A lot of youth on this squad right now, on the floor actually for Kennedy. Kennedy's going to go in quickly. That was number 20, Kyle Brown. And the second chance opportunity is going to put Kennedy at the free throw line. That's Blackman. 13 foul for Crosby. Blackman also a football star. He was a tight end and captain for Kennedy, who won the brass division. They've won it consecutively. First free throw was missed in 2017 and in 2018. Or in 2016 and the 2017 season. They have won the brass division for football. Second free throw is completely missed. Rebounded by Foggy. Kicks it over to Spears on the left. Guarded quickly, though, by Garcia, trying to find somewhere to go. Kennedy slapped the ball out of the hand of Spears, but the refs called it another foul. And that's going to put Spears now at the 1-1. Kennedy, I like the aggressiveness by Kennedy trying to be able to get to that ball, but you got to know a time and a place of being able to slap the ball out of the hands of this Crosby team, because now you put yourself in a 1-1 situation. Coming back in the game for Crosby is going to be Kerwin Prince and Yvonne Craig. Spears' first shot is good. In a 1-1 situation, when you make the first free throw of a 1-1, you are rewarded with a second chance opportunity. Crosby trying to cut down this deficit to 3. This free throw would make it 3, or cut the deficit down to 3. And he does. 20-17, 26 seconds left. Kennedy leads over Crosby. That's Williams back into the game for Kennedy. Tries to put the right hand out, off the glass, rimmed in and out. Rebounded though by Kerwin Prince. I expect Crosby to get the final shot here. Davis trying to find somebody. That is Spears. 8 seconds and counting. Spears finds an open lane. He's going to go up. Williams just missed being able to get his fingers on the basket. Now 20-19. And Spears was able to steal it out of his hands again, but unable to make the 5-foot shot from the free throw line. And at the end of 1, it is 20-19. Kennedy leads over Crosby. When we come back, second period action here from the Kennedy Gymnasium in downtown Waterbury. This is a DET Sports Media production. My name is Christopher Saunders, bringing you all the action. I'd like to thank my cameraman Kevin Zach tonight, doing a heck of a job. When we come back, second quarter action here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Back here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. My name is Christopher Sarnes. This is a DET Sports Media production bringing this rivalry matchup between the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. Kennedy is looking for their 72 win over Crosby dating back to 1910. Crosby is looking for their 48th victory in this rivalry. Crosby coming in 47-71 all-time against Kennedy. Kennedy, you switch it around, 71-47. On the floor for Crosby, Davis, Days, Spears, Kerwin Prince, and Craig. And on the floor for Kennedy, Williams, Garcia, also look at Brown. And on cue, Davis drives in, completely misses the basket, though. Rebounded by number 20, Kyle Brown. He's going to take it himself, and the ball was stuffed, hit out of the hands by Tyler Spears for Kennedy, but they're going to say he committed the foul. On the floor for Kennedy is Jones, Williams, Garcia, Brown, and LaShawn Smith, who's back on the court. LaShawn Smith making his first appearance this season, coming back from an arm injury. First free throw by Brown is good. And I'll be very interested to see what LaShawn Smith, what type of endurance he will have, especially missing so much time. Second free throw is good. 22-19. Kennedy leads over Crosby. Now 7:40 left here in the second period. Davis for Crosby gives it over to Spears. Back over to Yvonne Craig. And they're going to say Yvonne Craig traveled, took one too many steps, paused. That's when he was supposed to take the shot. Instead, he walked a couple extra steps. That's a traveling call, ladies and gentlemen. But as I was talking about with LaShawn Smith, I wonder when will the endurance of not playing 8 games really affect LaShawn Smith? As there's going to be a fight for the ball. That was Garcia and Prince. They're going to say it's going to stay Kennedy's ball. But so far, LaShawn Smith doesn't seem like he has any rust either on the offensive side or defensive side. His shot seems to be pretty up to par, looking at the couple threes he made from the left side in the first period. Defensively, he's getting to the ball quickly. Seems to not have lost any of his baseball IQ, especially being out the first couple games. Ball was stripped, stolen though by Crosby. It's Kerwin Prince. Goes with the right, unable to get it. Tipped by Spears, and then rebounded by Garcia. There's going to be another fight for the ball. And it's going to stay Crosby's ball. 5th jump ball, and we're only 7:12 into the second period. Ref giving a little bit of a talking to Spears after that. Davis inbounding, trying to find someone open. Gives it over to Yvonne Craig. Fakes it out. Going to drive in, kicks it under Days underneath. And that's a simple, pretty play right there by Yvonne Craig and Days. And that's something Kennedy, or Crosby, pardon me, is going to have to try to utilize. Have LaShawn Smith kick him out all the way through, and then be able to give Days and possibly Kerwin Prince a chance underneath the basket. Prince tried to steal that ball. Tipped off the hands, though, of Kerwin Prince. It's going to stay Kennedy's ball. Williams tried to give it to LaShawn Smith, but excellent defense, though, by Yvonne Craig, able to strip the ball out. And then Prince tried to give it to Days again. Same play as last time. Pass was a tad low. Days wasn't able to pick it up, and that's another turnover, though, for Crosby. And that turnover forced Nick Algelli to step up for Crosby. Probably didn't like what he saw right there. Crosby only down by 1. Smith for 3. Unable to get it this time. 2 for 3, though, from the three-point line is LaShawn Smith. Rebounded, though, by Prince. Gives it over to Davis. And Davis is going to be fouled. And that's going to be on number 33, Jones. His 8th. And that's going to put Davis at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Coming into the game for Kennedy is Blackman. Coming out is Garcia. And on the floor for Crosby, Craig, Days, Davis, Spears, and Kerwin Prince. And on the floor for Kennedy, Smith, Jones, Williams, Blackman, and Brown. Davis's first free throw is missed. And they're going to say that there was an infraction. Looks like Days, actually no, there was a foul committed. Looked like it to be on Davis. Actually no, that was on Marquise Days. Crosby's 4th. And that's why Kennedy has the ball back. William taking it up for Kennedy. To his right is Brown. Gives over to Blackman, newly into the game for Kennedy. Jones sees an opening. He's going to go with the left hook. Unable to get it, though. Goes right into the hands, though, of LaShawn Smith. And Davis was able to hit the ball out of the hands of Smith. or quite possibly it looked like maybe even Smith lost a grip of the ball. But that was forced, though, by Davis playing that type of defense. And that allows Crosby to get the ball back. Coming into the game is Foggy and Ballard. Coming out is Days and Curran Prince. This is the first game that I've seen Foggy play for this Crosby team. Played on the Crosby team last year, also coming off the bench when they had Jeremiah Kendall and Miguel Rivera. Spears puts up a three. Rebounded, though, Jones aggressively. And then Spears tried to strip the ball back, wasn't able to get it. And Davis with the block, but Smith ends up with it second time, goes up with the right hand, but he's going to be fouled. You saw numerous blocks in that situation, blocked by Davis into the hands of Days, and then also LaShawn Smith going up with it with the right and then getting fouled. And that's going to put Smith at the free throw line for 2. Crosby 6th. They're 1 foul away from being at the 1-and-1. First free throw was missed. Curran Prince coming into the game. Coming out is Avon Craig. That's the one thing you'll see from this Crosby team. They are going to fluctuate. They're going to bring their starters in. They're going to use the bench. Unlike last year when they had a deeper team in terms of talent with Jeremiah Kendall and Miguel Rivera, they're going to use more of the bench and see what they have. This is a rebuilding year for Crosby, as well as even Kennedy. When you look at what Kennedy lost in terms of Stenson, Sands, Jamari Joseph, that's a lot of talent. But both these teams are trying to rebuild and get back to prominence again. Curran Prince with a missed 3 opportunity, rebounded by Kennedy. Jones goes up, and that was blocked, though, by Prince. Blackman comes up with the ball. Williams tried to tip it up. Then that was Ballard, who's newly into the game for Crosby, who comes up with it. No look pass to Curran Prince from Davis, and he gets it in. 23-22. First points for Crosby in over 2 minutes. Now 5:10 left here in the second period. Crosby up by 1. Williams for the long 3, and he gets it, nothing but net. Man, that was a long 3 opportunity. He shot that all the way from Crosby. And Blackman's up with the rebound as Spears missed the layup. Jones has it. They have numbers, 3-on-1. Flicks it over to Smith. He's going to go in, and that's an easy mismatch between Smith and Foggy. Smith has at least 7 inches on Foggy. And especially with that long wingspan, I'm not surprised. That was in and out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy for Smith. And Foggy kicks it over to Davis. And he's going to be fouled. And that's going to put Davis at the free throw line. 19 fouls for Crosby, 6 for Kennedy. Kennedy coming into this game 1-5. Crosby 3-3. First free throw was missed. Now, every foul that Kennedy commits on Crosby, it will be 2 shots guaranteed. We're out of the 1-and-1s. Last game Kennedy played, they lost to St. Paul 81-60. Nagy was defeated by Crosby 82-63. Second free throw was made. Now 27-24. So Kennedy coming in on a cold streak, not having won their last game. Crosby coming in, winning their last game against a very good Nagy team, 4-2 this season. And Nagy's already defeated Wilby, one of the inner city teams, when you look at Career, Crosby, and so forth. And Crosby's able to retain the ball. That's going to be Davis. Kicks it over to Spears. He shoots the 3. And nothing but net for Spears. His first action tonight from the 3-point line. And we're all knotted up at 27-27. Williams, Jones somehow able to keep that from going out of bounds. 2-man team. Looked like that was they're going to say it was out of bounds. Curran Prince didn't like that. Kennedy's going to retain. As you could hear Brown screaming triangle, triangle. Williams able to get the ball from midcourt. Hits the knee of Davis. Going to stay Kennedy's ball. On the floor for Kennedy, Jones, Brown, Williams, and Sean Smith, and Blackman. Williams has it. Guarded quickly, though. Prince tried to attempt the steal, but then ball was tipped by Days, able to disrupt the ball from going into the basket. And then Prince tried to drive in, but a hard foul by Williams. One thing I tell you about these inner-city rivalry matchups, no matter if it's Kennedy, Wilby, Sacred Heart, Holy Cross. It doesn't matter. These kids have played against each other for years, going all the way back to the summer and YMCA, travel ball. They've seen what each player has and doesn't have. And there's going to be a little bit of rivalry just among the players itself, and you can see the fouls are hard tonight. First free throw was missed by Kerwin Prince. Prince from the free throw line is 65%, 15 for 23 this year, now 15 for 24. Second free throw was missed. Prince is able to get his own rebound. Sullivan not happy, though, for Kennedy. Ball tipped in and then came a little bit out of the basket. Rebounded, though, by Kennedy. That's Jones. Back over to Williams. Williams, complete errant pass. It looked like LaShawn Smith kind of gave up on that. There might have been a chance he was able to save that ball. As you can see, Williams kind of talking a bit over with LaShawn Smith and Brown. Inbounding is Spears. Now Davis crossing half court. Now 3:24 left here in the second period. Still 27-27, and now it's 30-27 as Spears makes his second three-point of this game. Crosby up by 3. Another errant pass by Williams. His second consecutive errant pass. And you can see Jones kind of throwing the ball in frustration. I can't blame him, but you got to understand, though. Williams is working a tad bit quickly. His first opportunity to get consistent starts this year. He's still trying to see what it takes to be a varsity player. Showing a lot of good skills, though, in this game thus far. My first opportunity to see him. And the game, though, is Acosta for Kennedy. And Crosby cannot be defeated from the three-point line. Third consecutive three-point made by a Crosby player. 2 by Spears, 1 by Davis. And now it's 33-27. Little floater from the 20, about 6-footer. That is Josiah Perella. Now 33-29. Foggy gives it over number 20 for Crosby. Foggy has it again. Unable to get it. Tipped over by LaShawn Smith off the hands into Marquise Days' hands. Spin move. He's going to go up. Second chance opportunity. It looks like he was deflected by the basket. Was able to get his own rebound. Put up with the right hand. 35-29. Blackman over to Acosta. Good defense, though, by Spears. Kicks it over to Blackman again. Off the hands of Spears. Actually, no, they're going to say it's off the hands of Josiah Perella. Excellent defense by Spears, and that allows Crosby to get the ball back. Coming back into the game for Kennedy is going to be Brown. Coming out is Blackman. Spears inbounding, gives it over to Davis. 2:13 left here in the second period. 35-29. Crosby has come up with the lead now in the second period after Kennedy had an early lead. Days going in. He's driving in with the right. Easy spin move. Man, let me tell you about Days. He's one of my favorite players on this Crosby team. He shows a lot of heart, but it seems like, as there's a steal now by Crosby, kind of lost it for a second, and that's going to come back to Kennedy. But going back to Days, he seems like a player that when you look at him, you're like, oh, you know, he might maybe have 1, maybe 2 moves at best. He's a magician out there with the ball, being able to do multiple moves, especially under center. Shows a lot of heart, especially with the basketball, and being able to be that man underneath to be able to get the second and third chance opportunities. It's like Perella lost it for a second. That's going to be Acosta. Kind of threw the ball up for a prayer. Somehow was able to get to that ball. Now 37-31, 1:27 left here in the second period. As Davis, Kennedy might be smart not try to reach on this play. Commit another foul. This time they were able to, as there's a jump ball. And there's a fight between Days and Acosta. Let's see who has retainability of the ball, and it's going to stay Kennedy. You can hear the head coach for Kennedy, Ryan Sullivan, telling his players, you got to keep moving. You can't stay in one place, especially with Crosby showing their athletic ability. Have to move around the court. Perella over to Smith underneath, and that was nothing but easy 1-2 pass to Smith underneath. 37-33, now entering the 1-minute mark in the second period. Davis to Spears. Foggy now at the top. Back over to Davis. You can see the ball movement of Crosby. Davis kicks over to Foggy. What a play by Davis and Foggy. Man, let me tell you, the ball distribution right there, picture perfect by Crosby. Now 39-33. And you can see the defense by Crosby being able to get their hands out. It almost seems like they know of when Kennedy is going to pass the ball to Crosby, or at least know what players they're going to pass to. Jones underneath. You can see Days and LaShawn Smith. One of the refs talking it over with Days and Smith a tad. I don't know about that. I think that's more of just a defensive side. Good sportsmanship on both sides. And now ref coming in again, talking to Smith. You can see one of the Crosby players kind of jumping up, giving a technical foul, and then Avon Craig with both of his hands out, maybe pondering why is this happening. Ryan Sullivan is going to smartly take out LaShawn Smith, and that's a smart play by Ryan Sullivan. He could see he doesn't want to lose his star player who just came back from an arm injury. So instead of getting into an altercation, take him out, let him cool down a tad, and then maybe let him come back in the second half when things have cooled a tad. Three was completely missed. Rebounded, though, by Days. Gives it back over to number 20 for Crosby. They might have a chance to be able to get the last shot in. Ball was stripped again. There's going to be a fight for the ball. Who comes up with it? That's Days. And that's going to be a foul on Jeremy Acosta. Kennedy's 11th. Coming back into the game for Kerwin, or actually coming back into the game for Crosby is going to be Kerwin Prince. Also, too, Williams will be coming back in for Kennedy. And that's going to put Marquise Days at the free throw line, shooting 2. Williams actually will be coming back into this game after the first free throw. You can hear the crowd with a dead silence as one of the refs is now going over to talk to the press box here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. And also Ryan Sullivan, as the first free throw was made by Days, talking over with LaShawn Smith on trying to control his emotions. Second free throw was missed. That's rebounded by Jones. They have some time, 20 seconds. And it'll look like that's going to be a foul by Crosby, forcing Jones into the possible 1-and-1. And that's a smart foul, though, by Crosby. They had a foul to give. Force him for the 1-and-1. Because now if he misses this, Crosby has a chance to be able to get the ball back and be able to increase their lead. 40-33 currently. Second free throw was missed. Rebounded by Crosby. Now that's a smart foul, as you can tell. Smart play calling by Nick Augello to be able to tell his players, commit the foul early, force Kennedy to shoot free throws, which in the first half they have not done, shooting under 40%. Days underneath. And Crosby has it right to their main man, Marquise Days. 1 second and counting. And time has expired. And at the end of the first half, 42-33, Crosby leads over Kennedy. Kennedy was up in the first period, but then Crosby was able to fight back in the second period, as you can see now the lead that they have, 42-33. And right before we end the first half, some thoughts. On Crosby's side, continuing to fight. They're not living and dying by the three, although they're 3 for 4 from the three in the first half. You have to admit, they're really being able to score underneath the basket, even with Smith in the game, being able to dominate within the paint. And for Kennedy, they've shown some signs left and right, but at the same time, LaShawn Smith being out of the game, especially with the little bit of the gesture of the talking between Days and LaShawn Smith. You can't have that if you're Smith. You're one of the prime players. You were on this team last year with Sands, Stenson, Chamari Joseph. You have to be on the court. You are a leader of this team. You are a senior. You can't have something like that, especially this is your first game back from an arm injury. This team needs you, LaShawn Smith. And I'm sure Ryan Sullivan's going to talk to him about that. He's going to come back, and he's going to wreck the second half. I can almost guarantee you that. Smith will come out and I wouldn't be surprised if he has the ball immediately, and he's going to possibly end up shooting a three, and you're going to see some emotion. We'll find out. But at the end of the first half, Kennedy is up or down 42-33, 8:14 left here in the end of halftime. When we come back, second half between the Crosby Bulldogs and the Kennedy Eagles. My name is Christopher Saunders. This is a DET Sports Media production. We'll be right back for the second half. back here at the Kennedy Gymnasium in downtown Waterbury. My name is Christopher Saunders. This is a DET Sports Media production. You can catch us again on Channel 16 or on YouTube. That's where all the local games from Career, Kennedy, Wilby, Crosby, any games that have been played that are home games, we televise them. We show them either on Channel 16 or on the web. But tonight, we are showing a rivalry matchup between the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. Kennedy comes into this game 1-5. Crosby comes in 3-3. Crosby with a defeat against Naugatuck. Kennedy, on the other hand, lost to St. Paul 81-60. Tale of two cities, or both teams, periodically. When you look at Kennedy in the first quarter, dominated Crosby. They were winning the time of possession in terms of being able to control the ball. Also, too, when you look at inside the paint. But in the second period, it was all Crosby. And I think the one thing going into this second half, you have to look at what adjustments is Ryan Sullivan going to make and what will Nick Augelli make for Crosby. I think the one thing for Kennedy, you have to look at the lateral passes. A lot of their turnovers were trying to make the long passes. Sometimes a little goes a long way. And in terms of Kennedy, being able to make the horizontal passes and being able to make a couple more rather than have that big play. You hear in the NFL, sometimes the big play doesn't go far if you try to make a long pass every once in a while, but every time a defense will figure you out. Same thing for basketball. Sometimes the short passes open up the longer plays because now you look at Crosby, they'd have to play more of a press that will leave at least one, if not two people open. And if you leave LaShawn Smith open, he's going to score on you all day. And that goes right to my main point. LaShawn Smith at the end of the first half was having a little bit of a bigger fight with Marquise Days. You can't have that. As a senior, you're leading this team. This is a young Kennedy team. You have to lead by example. I think LaShawn Smith will come back and be a force in this second half, but we'll find out. Now on the floor for Crosby, Days, Spears, Yvonne Craig, Kerwin Prince, and Days. And on the floor for Kennedy is going to be Williams, Yvonne Craig, Blackman, Acosta, and also Brown. Davis has it at the top, crosses half court. Gives it to Yvonne Craig, back over to Spears again. Crosby will try to give a lot of those passes, the horizontal passes that we talked about. Spears for three. Falls a little bit into the stands of Kennedy, but then Crosby's able to strike first. Now 44-33. Spears on that three kind of fell into as it was rebounded by Blackman, kind of tossed it up, lost it for a second. Yvonne Craig has it. Goes in with the right, a little bit of a move with the ball. Now 46-33. And Ryan Sullivan calling a timeout for Kennedy. That's a quick timeout. Only not even 50 seconds into the game, and Kennedy's already calling a timeout, and that's a full timeout. Now what happened with Spears on that three? As he shot the ball, he was falling. Kind of looked like he lost his footing a tad, maybe a little bit of a disruption by one of the Kennedy players, and that forced him to fall into his own players. Seems to be okay nonetheless, and Crosby needs to have Spears, who's the heart and soul of this team. It's Spears, Kerwin Prince, and Days. Yvonne Craig with the three, Davis with the point guard. Crosby does have a lot of talent, even though they lost Jeremiah Kendall and Miguel Rivera. They are still competitive, and as long as Nick Augelli's the head coach, he'll always find a way to be able to win games. I mean, for crying out loud, he's close to 700 wins. You don't get 700 wins or come close to 700 wins without being at least somewhat smart. And Nick Augelli is one of the best coaches in Connecticut. And it looked like one of the refs was wiping up the floor a tad. It was a little bit wet, but that's all taken care of. Acosta was under center, or was inbounding the ball. Davis tipped it out. It's going to stay Kennedy's ball. Acosta still inbounding. Gives it over to Jones, who's into the game for Kennedy. Back over to Perella, who's going to go up, unable to get it. Rebounded by Spears. Spears over to Davis. Davis is going to try to drive in, get away from traffic, unable to get it. Rebounded by Kerwin Prince. They're going to say he traveled, gave a little bit of an elbow to Smith, and then went in. Nonetheless, that's a turnover. First of the second half for Crosby. Jones is going to be inbound, tries to give a long pass again. Acosta somehow is able to come up with it. That's the lateral passes we were talking about. This time it worked. Davis stripped it out. They're going to say his left foot stepped out of bounds. Excellent hustle, though, by Davis, able to somehow keep it alive. It's going to stay Kennedy's ball. You can hear Ryan Sullivan screaming, house, house. That's the play on the offensive side for Kennedy. Acosta gives it over to Smith. You can see the quick double team by Crosby. And what a play by Spears, be able to somehow keep that alive. It was attempted to go out of bounds. He was able to keep it alive with the right. Yvonne Craig over to Prince. And that's just, you have to like that if you're Crosby. Spears keeps it alive, gives it quick over to Yvonne Craig, and then Prince underneath. Now 48-33, 6:30 left here in the second half, or in the third period. Acosta makes a move. Back over to LaShawn Smith. He shoots the three. Hits the outside part of the rim. Rebounded by Curran Prince. And Crosby gets the ball back quickly. Back over to Davis. Guarded quickly, though, by Smith. Makes a little bit of a move. You can hear the crowd with the O's. And Spears for three. Craig with the second chance opportunity. Gets the rebound. Now Curran Prince has it. Kicks it over to Davis. Davis is going to drive in. Completely go underneath the basket. Over to Spears. Misses it, rebounded by Smith. And that's a mismatch in terms of rebounding between Days and Smith. It's going to be hard to be able to out-rebound Smith with those long arms. Ball was slapped out by Curran Prince, and it's going to stay Kennedy's ball. On the floor for Kennedy's Acosta, Smith, Perella, Williams, and Jones. Jones has it. Thinks about it. He's going. The ball is slapped out by Days. Crosby has numbers. Prince tried to be able to make an attempt. It looked like as Days passed that ball, Prince took his eye off for a second, maybe anticipating an extra move, and that's what forced a turnover. And that forced Curran Prince to come out of this game. Foggy's coming back in. Perella has it for Kennedy. Being patient, guarded by Spears. Back over to Smith up top. Acosta waving, or Smith waving Acosta out, wanted to take it himself. And he's going to be fouled at the free throw line for 2 shots. First foul of the game for both teams with 5:18 left here in the third. That is going to be the first for Crosby. At each half, all team fouls are wiped out and each start off fresh with 0, except Crosby now is 1. First free throw is missed by Smith. Showing a little bit of disgust by Smith. Not happy with his first shot. And that forced the second shot to be missed as well. And Crosby has a chance to be able to increase their lead. Currently 48-33. Davis over to Foggy. Simple passes by Crosby, and that's what's allowing them to be able to be up now, 50-33. Kennedy has to be able to get the horizontal passes going. Acosta with a nice spin move. Went up, missed it, gets his own rebound. And you can see Sullivan just, it looks like he's going to be emptying the bench. Screaming. And that's going to force a complete, I don't even know what to say right now. The frustration from Sullivan is going to force potentially the whole bench to come into the game. He's not happy with how his team is playing. It seems like they're playing uncharacteristic basketball, not playing to the fundamentals of which they're needed. You can see Jay Turner, the transfer from Waterbury Career Academy, who's at Kennedy. He has to sit out the first 10 games of the season. He can come back after the 10th game. Looks like he's trying to talk to LaShawn Smith a little bit. But right now, this Kennedy team is not playing like the first quarter Kennedy team. Let's see who comes on the court for Kennedy. And it looks like we're going to have at least a couple of new players. Jones, Blackman. We'll see who else we can get on the team currently right now for Kennedy. Looks like number 52 as well as number 25. That's going to be Garcia. Same starting 5 for Crosby. Craig, Foggy, Days, Spears, and Davis. Jones inbounding. Trying to find somebody open. Long pass over to Garcia. Garcia guarded by Davis. Kicks it over to Brown. Brown back over to Blackman. Now Jones. Jones able to find a way to be able to retain the ball. Deflected by Yvonne Craig. Loses the ball. That's Garcia. Crosby has it. Spears is going to try to go coast to coast. Ball rims in and out. Second chance opportunity was missed by Days. Blackman's able to keep it alive. And now Days has it. And it looks like they're going to say that Days stepped out of bounds before he was able to get full possession of the ball. And that's going to allow Kennedy the ball. But with 4:27 in the third period, there's a lot of bickering going on right now on the bench for Kennedy between Acosta and LaShawn Smith. And that's probably what forced both players to come out of this game and a couple of the bench players to be able to come back in. And Davis is all by himself for Crosby. That's an easy 2 points for Davis, 52-33. And you can see Crosby starting to pull away in this game. Jones crosses half court. Couple spin moves left and right, able to go in easily by himself, 52-35. Spears back over to Davis. Now Spears again, he's wide open for three. Unable to get it now, 2 for 4 from the three-point line. Rebounded by Blackman. Jones has it, crossing half court. Double team. Now to Brown, guarded by Days. And the last two opportunities between Jones and Brown easily were able to go in. It looks like Crosby's not trying to foul, just allowing them to be able to go in quickly and not trying to commit unforced errors. Second shot is missed. Rebounded though by Days, who picks up the garbage. Now with 3:14 left here in the third period, 54-37. You can hear Nick Augelli screaming, who's got number 52. Jones guarded by Foggy. I don't know what kind of pass that was, but it seemed like it was kind of like a Hail Mary attempt. They're going to say Davis stepped out of bounds. But Ryan Sullivan's asking Jones, why make that pass? Yvonne Craig is coming out of the game. Coming back in is Curran Prince. Brown inbounding with Garcia about to get the ball. Brown making a couple moves, gets right past Days. And the second chance opportunity, though, by Brown. He's doing one heck of a job. 4 points in less than 10 seconds. Gotta like the ball movement, though, by Brown. Be able to dribble right past Days and go in easy for the 2 points. Davis for three. Unable to get it, though. Rebounded by Kennedy. Starting to fight back a tad, chipping away, and that's all Kennedy can do. Garcia made a pass over to Brown, but it seemed like it was stolen by Crosby. And that's going to be a hard foul, and that's going to put Prince at the free throw line. First foul of the game by Kennedy. Prince again from the free throw line is currently 65%, 15 for 25 from the free throw line. And right on cue, 4 out of the 5 stars are coming back in. Williams, Acosta, LaShawn Smith, and Perella. Now let's see if Ryan Sullivan is going to be able to talk to this squad who right now needs something to go their way. 56-39. Kennedy's got to start chipping away. Clock is ticking. Only have a period and 22 seconds left here in the third. Ball was stolen, though, by Davis away from Perella. And that's going to be off Kennedy. It's going to come back to Crosby. The awareness, though, by Davis to understand that he didn't have a play. Kind of threw it nonchalant, but into the Kennedy chest. Looked like that looked to be Perella. And somehow be able to retain the ball back. Curran Prince over to Davis by himself for the three. Unable to get it. Rebounded, though, by Perella for Kennedy. Ryan Sullivan screaming, press, move out, try to be able to move as far as quickly as you can. That's going to be another turnover. And Crosby entering now the 2-minute mark. Each team with one team foul apiece. Spears back over to Davis. Now Curran Prince back over to Foggy. Foggy's going to drive in. And that's going to be a foul on Kennedy. Looks to be on number 5, Williams. Williams' second personal foul, second on the team. Davis inbounding, gives it over to Spears from the three. Seemed to be tipped a little bit, though, by Brown. And that's what allowed Kennedy to be able to get the ball. Perella is able to keep the ball alive. A little bit of a spin move, and that's going to be a foul on Spears. And we went a whole 5 minutes without any fouls in the second or in the third period. But now we've so far had 2 fouls in less than 10 seconds. Now both teams with 2 team fouls apiece. Now Sean Smith has it at the top, guarded by Davis. That's a mismatch. Davis trying to drive it underneath with a little bit of a spin move, loses the ball. Acosta fighting for it. And the Zebras are going to say that's off Foggy, and it's going to be retained though by Kennedy. Seemed like the benching by Sullivan for Smith and Acosta's worked a little bit. The hustle has improved a tad. We'll see if that will continue. Ball almost stolen though by Crosby. That's going to be Perella for 3. Unsuccessful. Crosby's going to rebound the ball. 1:25 left here in the third. Foggy driving. Waits a second. Pauses, and they're going to say he traveled. As soon as you pause, you have to be able to make an attempt to the basket. Otherwise, if you make another move, that's going to be a traveling call. We've seen Crosby do that a couple times tonight. Not as much as the turnovers with Kennedy with the lateral passes. But nonetheless, that's a turnover. You can hear the play call by Ryan Sullivan screaming elbow. You've heard elbow and you've heard house tonight here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Perella faked it over to Williams, shot a 3. Almost rebounded by Smith. Prince had it, and then somehow Smith is able to get the ball back again. Prince is able to keep it alive, hit the ball in the air. And they're going to say it's off the foot of one of the Crosby players. It's going to stay Kennedy's ball. This has been a DET Sports Media production. My name is Christopher Saunders for this rivalry matchup between the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. And Kennedy turns over the ball again. With now 52 seconds, 56-39. Curran Prince is coming out. Coming back in is Spears, Tyler Spears, number 12. Davis crossing half court. Back over to Spears on the left. Now to Foggy. Foggy to Craig, who shoots a 3. Unable to get it. Rebounded, though, by the smallest player on the court, Williams. Back over to Brown. Goes in hard, unable to get. Williams with the second chance rebound opportunity. And then Perella for 3. And he gets it. First 3 that made by Perella. And now it's 56-42. Davis. Now 19 seconds and counting. Brown playing hard defense on Davis. They're going to say it's a foul. Kennedy's third team foul here in the third with now 14.6 seconds. Nick Algelli questioning, maybe a little bit of the discussion happening between both Brown and Davis. With Spears inbounding the ball. Davis has it. Crosses half court. Dribbles, finds a spot, attempted to shoot the 3, but then with a quick pass over to Spears, tended to reset. Spears on Brown, trying to make a little bit of a spin move, loses the ball for a second, tries to pass over to Craig, just puts up a 3, and that was a shot that was, I don't want to say that was uncharacteristic of Spears, but that was a shot that maybe he could have tried to pass over to Craig, but with time winding down, he had to be able to do something. Shot was contested, ball completely missed the basket, but at the end of 3, it is 56-42. Crosby leads over Kennedy. We're going to stay right here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Now entering the fourth period. Prince is going to be coming back into this game for Crosby. One thing I noticed at the end of the third period, the smallest player on the court, Adrian Williams, number 5, the guard, he's a senior, being able to get an offensive rebound, or first a defensive rebound, being able to carry the ball up, and then gain the second chance opportunity. I understand Crosby is up by 14, but still, to allow the smallest player on the court to be able to get a second chance opportunity on the defensive side, you can't allow that, especially when you have Prince and Days on the court. Because with this Kennedy team, although they're playing sluggish and they're not playing characteristic Kennedy basketball, you don't want to wake up a sleeping giant. And all it takes is a couple threes, maybe a foul here, maybe a scuffle here, there. I'm not saying there should be a scuffle, but you do not want to wake up this team because they can easily put up 20 in less than 3 minutes. They've shown that before, dating back to last year. I understand different team, but you cannot allow that. And let's see what Nick Algelli and his Crosby Bulldogs have in this fourth period. On the court for Kennedy's, Acosta, Smith, Williams, Perella, Brown. On the court for Crosby, Davis, Spears, Craig, Prince, and Days. Perella gives it over to Smith on the left. Days and Smith kicks it back over to Brown to reset. Guarded by Spears, trying to make a little bit of a move, going to the right. Unable to get it. Second chance opportunity is Acosta. He goes up with it, and he's going to be fouled. And that's exactly what Kennedy needs right now. Chipping away a tad bit, try to dominate within the paint, and then expand. Both teams with 3 team fouls. 7:43 left here in the fourth period. Acosta shooting his first free throw of 2. First free throw is made. Coming out of the game is Days. Coming back in is Foggy. Acosta shooting his second chance opportunity. And he's 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Now it's 56-44. Davis, guarded by Brown. Able to find Craig at the top, guarded by Acosta. Yvonne Craig back over to Prince on the right. Kicks it over to Davis, staying beyond the 3, trying to drive into the paint. Finds a lane, goes up with the left, unable to get, but then Prince is able to pick up the garbage and be able to score the 2 points. And that's exactly what Crosby needed. Can't allow Kennedy to be able to continue on fighting back. They need to be able to win the second chance opportunities. That's what Crosby's doing. And Crosby's able to retain the ball back. Casa went up for it, won the second chance, but then Crosby's able to win the third. Yvonne Craig with the spin move, goes up. Looked like the ball is deflected right into Prince's hands. And that's 4 points in less than 15 seconds as Prince is kind of talking to himself a little bit after that play. Now 6:45 left here in the fourth. Smith goes up and unable to get it, rebounded by Yvonne Craig. Davis, the point guard, trying to set up a play here. Guarded by Brown, trying to find somebody open. That's Spears. That's going to force Nick Algelli with a timeout. And that's going to be a full timeout by the Crosby Bulldogs. 60-44, Crosby leads over Kennedy. 6:31 left here in the fourth period. My name is Christopher Sarnes. This is a DET Sports and Media production. I'd like to thank Kevin Zach on the camera tonight, bringing this rivalry matchup between the Kennedy Eagles and the Crosby Bulldogs. Coming into this game, this rivalry has been swayed one side. Kennedy up 71-47 in the wins and losses. You flip it for Crosby, 47-71. But the way it's looking right now, Crosby could potentially win their 48th game against Kennedy dating back since 1910. We're going way back, ladies and gentlemen. And probably even before, we're talking street basketball, even before that. Davis with the easy 2 points, the assist by Foggy. Now 62-44. That's exactly what Nick Algelli drew up in the playbook. And he's got to love it. 6:15 left here in the fourth. Both teams with 3 team fouls apiece. Perella gives it over back to Acosta. Acosta, Spears tried to strip it, was unsuccessful. 3 missed by Perella. And now Spears, Crosby had numbers for a second, attempted to give it to Davis, but instead took it himself, went up for the easy 2 points. Now 64-44, back up to a 20-point lead. Jones back into the game for Kennedy. Spears trying to strip it out again. Spears is trying to contend that maybe the ball was hit off the hands of Jones, but it was off of Spears himself. He's going to stay Kennedy's ball. Acosta inbounding, gives it back over to Williams. who's going to shoot a three. Unsuccessful, rebounded by Curran Prince. And gives it back to Spears behind. Now to Davis. Davis is going to drive in. He's going to go in hard. Second chance opportunity is made by Curran Prince. You cannot question the heart of Curran Prince tonight. His second chance opportunities have to be off the charts right now, just in the whole season, if you look at the spectrum of that. 5:22 left here in the fourth. 66-44, or 68-44. Off the hands of Williams. Williams trying to contend that that wasn't off the hands of said player, but nonetheless, it's going to stay Crosby's ball. And we're going to have another timeout. That's going to be on Kennedy. That's going to be a full timeout. But looking at the upcoming schedule for Kennedy, you look at they're going to play Waterbury Career Academy on January 16th. And then on the 19th, they have Oxford. And then here's the big one. The 23rd of January, they're going to play against Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart has yet to lose a game in the last couple years, the last 3 years to be accurate, at least in Connecticut. They've lost a couple games when you look at the tournaments that they've played in New York and in Massachusetts, even going back to the Mustafa Haran years. But this is a team to be reckoned with. You look at the career academies, they haven't lost a game. You look at Sacred Heart, they haven't lost a game yet. Holy Cross has only lost one game. Now, I know Holy Cross and Career Academy are playing, so they're playing for second place in terms of the brass division. Sacred Heart is first. But then you look at Kennedy, Wilby, and Crosby. They're all fighting to try to be able to stay above that. Because you got to remember, the NVL tournament is still something to play for. Ball was hit out of bounds. It's going to stay Crosby's ball. Now 5:07 left here in the fourth. Number 20 inbounding for Crosby. Ball slapped out by Perella. That's going to be Davis who's going to inbound. Davis, long pass over to Spears. Spears is going to have to track it a tad, able to find it. Now he's going to cross half court. A little bit of a press, though, by Kennedy. Swarming to the ball as soon as the ball is received by a Crosby player. There's at least two Kennedy players on it. Spears for the three, unable to get it. Rebounded by Foggy. He's going to go in. Unsuccessful again, and then turnover by Crosby. Jones has it. He's going to go in. Spears tried to set up for a possible block. Unsuccessful in getting that, and that's going to be an easy 2 points for Jones. Now 4:37 left here in the fourth. Curran Prince. Back over to Spears, who's going to go up with the right-hand hook. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 68-46. 4:25 left here in the fourth. LaShawn Smith on the right. Back over to Acosta underneath in the paint. He's going to go in hard. Unsuccessful. Rebounded by Davis. Can't question the heart of Acosta being able to drive into the basket and the hustle. Not just second chance opportunities, but overall defensively as well. Spears try to give it to Curran Prince underneath, but that's going to be a turnover. Kennedy, for now, has the numbers. LaShawn Smith taking himself, and he dunks it. Went coast to coast with the dunk. But still, that doesn't bring Kennedy back. Down still by 20 with 3:51 left here in the fourth. Now Crosby playing a little bit of patty cake, just trying to throw the ball laterally, long passes. And that's going to be a foul by Williams. 3:40 left here in the fourth. 14 foul for Kennedy. Looks like the refs are going to be wiping off the court. Another wet spot, the second wet spot. There was one in the first half, and this is the second. Usually, if you look at college games or NBA games, there's somebody on the court, a couple boys who are trying to wash the court. But this is high school basketball, and I guess there wasn't any money in the budget to be able to give somebody that opportunity to try to wipe off the court, if you know what I'm saying. 66-48, Crosby leads over Kennedy with 3:40 left here in the fourth period. My name is Christopher Sarnes. This is a DET Sports Media production. You can catch this game on Channel 16 and also on the web on YouTube on DET Sports Media. I'd like to thank my cameraman Kevin Zach tonight, doing one heck of a job as usual. Spears back over to Davis. As the clock is ticking, Kennedy is losing time. You could see Crosby playing patty cake. And the one thing in high school basketball, there isn't a shot clock. You can hold the ball as long as you want, as long as you're moving the ball and not staying in one spot. Otherwise, that's a shot clock or a 5-second violation. Davis, back over to Marquise Days, just trying to find where to go. Crosby continue on passing the ball. Ball slapped out, and they're going to say that's off Davis, and Kennedy's going to get the ball back. Looks like Williams possibly maybe hurt his wrist a tad after that ball was hit out of bounds. Seems to be okay, though. Zebras were waiting for him to catch his breath, and let's get right back to this basketball game with 3:03 left in the fourth. Perella has it. The ball is stolen by Days. He's all by himself. He went in. A little bit of a disruption, though, by LaShawn Smith. Kennedy has it back. That's going to be Acosta. He's going to go with the right hand off the glass. And now Kennedy has come to now the 50-point mark. Crosby up by 18 with 2:49 left here in the fourth. There's still a chance, though, for Kennedy to be able to score. I know 18 points sounds like a lot, but figure a couple threes, fast pace, couple Crosby turnovers, and they're right back in this game. If they can be able to slim it down to about 10 with about maybe 2 minutes, about a minute 50, 10 points is not a lot. And you also look at how many fouls that each team has. Kennedy has 4, Crosby has 3. And you look at the amount of free throw percentages for some of the players on the court that could be coming back in. The worst one is Curran Prince at 65%. You look at Spears with 88%, Yvonne Craig 83%. You could say Marquise Days, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities at the free throw line, only 5 for 8, 63% from the free throw line. You could force Days, possibly Curran Prince for a 1-and-1 if you get to that opportunity, just like what Crosby did at the end of the first half. They forced Jones to shoot a 1-and-1. They missed, and then Crosby was able to make 2 points quickly. So don't be surprised if you can maybe see something like that if Kennedy can be able to trim the lead down to maybe 10. And that's just a guess. It could be 12, it could be 10. I'm sure the head coach Ryan Sullivan for Kennedy has talked that over with his team on what to do at certain situations. You can see the press, though, by Kennedy. With Spears inbounding, gives it over to Davis, back over to Spears again. And now quick pass is over. Now back over to number 20 for Crosby, trying to find somebody open. Spears guarded by Williams. Again, there isn't a shot clock in high school. Good defense by Williams. Spears at the top. Trying to find somebody, guarded by Perella. And they're going to say that's a traveling call. And that's going to be another costly turnover for Crosby. Gives Kennedy a chance to be able to chip back. 2:22 left here in the fourth. Entering now 8:35 here in Connecticut, or in Waterbury, Connecticut. Game started a little bit later. There was a Special Olympics game going on here at Kennedy. That's why the game started at 7:20 instead of the original 7 o'clock slot time. Jones at the top. Gave a little bit of a shove after that. Lost the ball. Spears, is it Perella and Acosta? He's going to go up with the left, and he's going to be fouled. 15 foul for Crosby, and that's going to put Spears at the free throw line for 2. Crosby now with 5 team fouls. Kennedy with only, well, actually, pardon me, as the first free throw was made by Spears. Crosby has only 3 team fouls. Kennedy has 5. Yvonne Craig getting ready to come back in this game. Second free throw was made. Yvonne Craig coming back in. It's going to be Davis, Craig, Spears, Days, and Prince. Perella trying to find an open space, able to. Right hand finger roll or right hand floater, unable to get it. Rebounded by Crosby. That's Yvonne Craig. And Spears gives it over to Davis, who's going to take his time up court. Yvonne Craig dribbling around, entering now 1:40. Davis lost it for a second. Good, excellent defense by Williams. That's going to be a timeout by Nick Algelli, as there was a little bit of a mishandling of the ball by Crosby. But Nick Algelli called a timeout smartly. I mean, as I stated before, he hasn't been able to get over 650 wins or over 600 wins without not seeing everything. I'm sure he noticed that Crosby was going to potentially lose the ball in that situation, have another costly turnover. So why not use the timeouts that you have and be able to retain the ball back without giving Kennedy any chance of being able to chip away. Although right now with a minute and 35, it's starting to look a little bit bleak. As you can see, 4 new starters into the game for Kennedy. Blackman, Brown, Garcia, as well as number 52 for Kennedy. And for Crosby, we also have a couple new starters as well. We have Foggy, as well as number 20. We have Ballard. We have Patrick. We have Cody. And we have Reed. Actually, pardon me. We have Cody and Patrick. Reed is not in the game. Crosby's taking their time. Give it over to Foggy. Back over to Cody. Kicks it over to Foggy. He's going to shoot a 3. And Foggy scores his first points of the game here in the 4th. 73-50, and this game is all but knotted up. And Crosby's going to move to 4-3. Kennedy's going to move to 1-6. Williams for a 3 opportunity missed. Foggy's going to rebound it. 55 seconds left. And it looks like, potentially it looked like there was a timeout, but instead, don't quite know what the call was on the court, but nonetheless, Crosby still has the ball, and that's going to be Cody bringing it up. Kicks it over to Patrick. Now to Ballard. Ballard back to Patrick. Now to Cody, and I would expect Crosby just to continue on making passes until the clock runs out. Maybe get another shot depending on, and right on cue, they make a shot, or attempt a shot. Miss it, rebounded though by Kennedy. That's going to be Williams from Garcia. Out of bounds. And it's going to be Crosby's ball. With 27 seconds left here in the 4th period. That's going to be Cody. I don't expect Crosby to take the final shot here. They're just going to let the clock run out. Now it looks exactly what they're possibly going to end up doing right now. Although Kenny's still trying to be able to play hard defense until the clock expires. And I mean, you got to like that, at least giving somewhat of an effort. Nick Algelli called a timeout. Looked to be a 30-second timeout, but the refs are going to just try to get this game going as quickly as possible with the decision all but not. About 5 seconds, 3 seconds. And that's going to be a backcourt violation by Cody. He went past half court and then backwards. He should have just stayed behind the court, and the clock would have expired. And now Kennedy's going to throw it in. Brown's going to make the shot. Cody with the block, and that's going to end the ball game. Kennedy has lost to Crosby 73-50 here at the Kennedy Gymnasium. Kennedy's going to move to 1-6. Crosby is going to move to now 1 game above 500 at 4-3. Kennedy's next game is going to be against Waterbury Career Academy on the 16th at Waterbury Career Academy. So until next time, everybody, this has been a DET Sports Media production. My name is Christopher Saunders. You can catch this game on the web on YouTube or on Channel 16. So once again, final score, Kennedy has lost to Crosby, 73-50. Hope everyone has a safe and a happy weekend, and we'll catch you again next time on DET Sports Media. My name is Christopher Saunders. Have a great one, everybody.